Never ever joke with an angry public. Alassane Ouattara, that is the president of Ivory Coast, can attest to this. Just watch this clip. And now, most of the citizens that belong to Ivory Coast across the globe, they are all saying they are behind President Ibrahim Traore for leading this Pan-Africanism, this Pan-Africa movement. They're all saying they are there to support, and they're supporting the coup that is taking place in Ivory Coast at the moment. Why? Reason being, they are tired of imperialism. They are tired of a corrupt government. They're tired of being served as the puppet. They are tired of getting donations from their own resources that belong to the country. And now they are being given in terms of donation. Yeah, this is something that they have tried, and they have told Ouattara several times, stop being the puppet of the West. But this president does not want to listen to his people. He is always that kind of president that is after his own stomach. He's after his own interest. And this is the thing that has made the Ivory Coast people to get angry. And now they are supporting the military coup that is happening there with all their effort. If you can check on the social media, I have seen most of them that saying that it is high time for now Ivory Coast to get the right president for themselves. It is a high time for now Ivory Coast to get change, and it is happening, guys. You know, most of these leaders, I don't know how the advisors, they keep on giving them wrong information, and at the end of the day they believe. I tend to believe a good leader is the person who listens to his people and know how the ground feels about your leadership. I can give an example of a president like the late John Pombe Magufuli. This kind of president from Tanzania would go to that village and just out of nowhere, he just tells his people, let's stop at a certain point. I want to talk to those people. Yeah, and they will obey that. And just get to that local, that interior market, and he will stop there, talk to his citizen, know how people feel about his leadership, understand the kind of problem they are facing. But this kind of leadership that we have in Africa is all about, I got this, so these other people, let them fight their own problem. Because you have gotten to that high rank, so you do not care what that lower person, the middle person, what they go through. They have introduced more taxes, and you know what, most of these taxes are not even controlled by these African states. They are controlled by the West. So when are we going to wake up and start making our own policies? We do not even have the strategy. We have to wait for the European Union just to come and give us the strategy, telling us that now, Burkina Faso, you're supposed to do this now. You're supposed to move here. Yeah. So you see, the whites are giving us the strategy that they understand at the end of the day it's going to benefit them. Nobody is going to give you a strategy that will win against or over and beyond them. They will always want you to be under them. And that is what France is always trying to do for the African states. And now, even the Ivory Coast citizens themselves, they are saying this president should just never come back to their state. With the enough that he has stolen from them, it is enough. Let him go with that. And they just want to start afresh. Let's continue. Let's watch this video again as we continue with this chat. So Ouattara really wanted to please the West, and now Africans do not want anything to do with pleasing the West. They just want to stand on their own feet. They just want to understand, if this ground is dry, let us know it's dry. If it's wet, let us know it is wet. If it's a rock, let's just know it's a rock, and we will find a way of surviving on that particular rock. But number one, as I had highlighted in the first point, as the first point is, corruption is the key factor that has contributed for these countries not to grow, to stagnate always, because the leaders who have always been there, they are just always before they're just working for their own stomachs. The citizens are suffering. Their children are not having schooling enough facilities for schools. Their children are not even getting food. But we have someone who is, with all means, with his all efforts, he is trying to impress the West. That is one of the major key factor that is contributing to the citizen of Ivory Coast as they join President Ibrahim Traore to be much angry with their president. And point number two, as I move on, number two, poor leadership. Poor leadership. This is where you become ignorant. The president had become very, very ignorant. People tell him this is what we want, but he doesn't want to listen to that. He wants to do what he knows is right, just to please the West. And by doing so, that is one of the things that is also killing the country. It's killing the economy. It is killing the infrastructure in the country. Nothing is able to stand, not unless it is funded by the West. And the West, what they're just doing to them is just to give them donations. We've got more of the resources from your country, so we just give you small in donation, peanuts, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it. Wake up, Africa. Who bewitched us? Who bewitched Africa? This is the question I'm posing to you. Until when? When are we getting back on our feet? When are we getting back? To know that these are our rights. We need to fight them. This is what we need to do to overcome this. Because at the moment, even African Union itself, it's not helping. It is the biggest puppet of the West. African Union itself, it's a problem. It's being funded 60% by the European Union. It means they're still desperate and they still depend on them. So, if from that is what we expect democracy to come from it, so that means we have a problem. We still have a long way journey to go. We still have a long night to cover before we get to that morning. Violation of constitution left right and center. Nobody cares. The leader himself does not even care the interests of people. He does not care whether the constitution, what is written in the constitution. He seems like he sees himself as beyond the law. Is beyond repair. Well, why? As much as you have external threats and all those kind of things, but you need to stand your ground. Tell even those people in the West that now my people are tired and they don't want to hear this anymore. Even if they don't to remove it completely, but at least they can reduce it to a certain percentage. But you're just there. You're always sitting there just to sign policies. You sign their policies. You sign their affairs. But deep down, you really know, you really understand that that black child somewhere is going to suffer. Stop that. Yeah? And now, the coup in Ivory Coast has taken place, and everybody on social media is saying, we thank God, good news, yes, wonderful, yes, we wish Ivory Coast all the best, they need to get a good president. Yes, what does it tell you? That people are so much tired with being dependent on other states, being dependent to other nations for donation. You will be donated until when? Wake up and know what is right for you and fight for it. For more of this kind of update, follow me and ensure you subscribe to this channel. My name is Isaac Obomba and the channel name is called this is Africanization Data. I need to get your reaction in the comment sections. Thank you and bye-bye.